Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what time you're looking at this. I'm Jason Weiss. You're here on the Ask Jason Weiss show. I am your host. I am both an attorney and a consultant, but nothing that we discuss here today or at any point in time is legal advice. In order for it to be legal advice, you would have to retain the attorney and go ahead and have an attorney-client relationship, and we don't have that today. What I do have here with me today is a very, how do I put this? An incredible young man who's happens to be my son. His name is Logan Weiss, and Logan is a student athlete who focuses on the sport of lacrosse. So normally I would sing his praises and I would talk about him and all that great stuff, but I'm going to allow him to introduce himself and get comfortable in front of the camera. This is not this 15-year-old's first time in front of the camera. He has been interviewed and he's been on shows before. And I think his first interview was with Steve Noodleberg, who is a great friend of mine and just an incredible all-around person. I think that was his first intro into podcasting and interviews and all of that stuff. But here's another one for him. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce Logan Weiss.
Hi, I'm Logan Weiss.
And tell us a little bit about you, Logan.
So I'm a 15-year-old kid who is a lacrosse player and a owner of a company and also a charity foundation.
Okay, so 15-year-old kid, where do you go to high school?
So I just transferred to St. Andrews from North Broward.
And obviously your sport is lacrosse. What position or positions do you play in lacrosse?
So I play close defense and LSM, which is a long stick midi.
And LSM is a long stick midi. And you also mentioned that you have a lacrosse company. Tell the viewers a little bit about that.
So about 2 years, almost 3 years ago, actually, I started a company with the help of you to create LONGPOLE Life, which is a defensive-based lacrosse barrel company, which I switched positions from attack to defense earlier that year. And I just decided there's really no lacrosse companies and everybody doesn't shine enough light on the defense. So might as well make a company about it and make a little cash on the side while supporting what I like to do the most.
I like the little cash on the side. So this is his company. It's called LONGPOLE Life. You can check out his website at longpolelife.com. And his little slogan is called "Life is Better with a Long Pole." And what we did was we started it up. We applied at the United States Patent and Trademark Office, and we got trademarks on this, which is on his shirt, LONGPOLE Life with the sticks. And we also have a trademark on this one, which is Life is Better with a Long Pole. So what kind of merchandise and what kind of things does LONGPOLE Life do, Logan?
So LONGPOLE Life sells T-shirts, hats, masks for when COVID was around, like neck gaiters and actual masks, water bottles, anything you could really think of.
Okay. And you also mentioned that you have a charity. What is the name of that charity?
So my charity is LONGPOLE for Life.
And for those of you that are listening, it's LONGPOLE, the number 4 life.com. Tell us a little bit about LONGPOLE for Life.
So LONGPOLE for Life is a 501c3, which means it's non-taxable.
Correct. Non-taxable. Very good. You listened. I like it.
And then it's so earlier in the year, back in January, I believe, new rules came out for NCAA and all lacrosse, high school, wherever, that you need a specialized and approved chest protector and helmet to be able to play. And that is very costly. And I used to be able to give all my old gear down to underprivileged kids who were starting lacrosse or just anybody who didn't have enough money to start up the sport if they really wanted to try.
or just younger kids that wanted to try, because this 15-year-old at 6'2", 215, 220, he outgrows his stuff very frequently, and you can pass down cleats and gloves and sticks and all of that. But the two most important pieces of safety equipment for a lacrosse player are the helmet and the chest protector. And the new chest protector does what, Logan?
The new chest protector protects your heart. So it's like a little piece of plastic that covers up and gives the heart space. Because there was a guy, I don't remember his name particularly, but he played at Loyola last year. And he got hit in the heart, and it hit at the same beat, and it doubled it and killed him on the field while he was playing.
So what Logan's decided to do is, since you can't pass down the old chest protectors or the old helmets anymore that are in great shape and are better than nothing, he's decided to go ahead and start up LONGPOLE for Life. And what are you raising the funds for? What specifically are they being used for?
So the funds are specifically being used for getting enough money to be able to purchase the better equipment for younger kids or underprivileged kids who just want to be able to play the sport and don't have enough money to get the actual equipment.
So the mission statement for the company, which I'll admit I helped write, but I didn't write the whole thing. I just cleaned it up and made it, was basically to allow anyone and everyone to participate safely in lacrosse. And again, you can use the same stick, you can hand me down on cleats and gloves and t-shirts and all that, but the helmet, it's like a car seat in a car. They need to be up to speed. They need to be of utmost safety. They need everything to be there. And same thing with the chest protector. You're not allowed to set foot on the field anymore without having that heart protector. And that's great for safety of everybody in the game. Now, Logan, you are a lacrosse player. But at the same time, and first and foremost, that your mother and I stress to you, what is your number one responsibility in life other than being a great person?
Grades
in school. So Logan and I were fortunate enough to be in Maryland this weekend, where Logan is part of a team. What's the name of the team?
Nationals Lacrosse Club.
Where he was invited. And he was there, and the coaches were talking to the students and the parents about grades, and that you could be the best of the best of the best. And if your grades aren't up to, the minimum requirements or exceeding the minimum requirements, they're going to pass on you. And so it is so important in all sports, but especially lacrosse, in order for your grades to be high. Because that's the only way you're going to get accepted. You could stay on the team. You could play. Grades. That's what we heard. 3.5 unweighted GPA, 4.0 weighted. Those are like the criteria. That's what they're looking for. So Logan, what are some of the things that you do to keep yourself focused on A, in the classroom, and then B, on the fields?
So in the classroom, I do not have a lot of free time outside of the classroom to be able to be with friends or study that much. So when I have the chance, I try to evenly disperse it and work on what's up next and what's important, and try to get myself into a schedule kind of, and be able to figure out the best way to be able to solve something, and just spend as much time as needed or as I have to be able to do something. And on the field, ever since COVID started, that's been a big priority of mine, lacrosse, because I realized I do want to play at the D1 level or at a very high D3 level in college. And I don't know, the motivation's always been there since COVID started, and focus for that's just not very hard to do. And it's just something I like to do.
So what is some of your favorite things to get yourself prepared for a game, a season? What are some of the stuff you do? Do you do drills? Do you work out? Do you listen to certain music? What do you do? What's your thing?
So to practice, I like to go to D1 or D1 training in Deerfield Beach, or I like to be able to just work out on my own in the backyard, go in to throw a lacrosse ball for 15, 20 minutes, work on both hands, make sure I'm ready, or do a ladder outside for a little bit. But when it comes to getting ready for a game, I usually listen to a playlist that I have made. I named it SA for my new school because I made it for the new season coming up. And then that's what I usually listen to. I like putting on Eye Black. I feel like I play better with it. It's just a superstition. And I always, in between games, like to eat blueberries, and that's pretty much it.
So you got your little routine down, and it's blueberries, Eye Black, and any music that any of the old folks like myself would know, or is it all just stuff that you're not even allowed to use the words in the titles of the songs? Do you have songs that you like or artists that you like?
There's a little bit of both in it.
What do you mean by a little bit of both?
Like I would say like old 90s rock and then early 2000s rap mixed with today's age rap.
Interesting. Very, very eclectic taste in music. So how do you go about balancing your classroom studies, wanting to hang out with friends and do stuff, and this internal drive that you have to be such a success on the field?
So there's different seasons where I do different things. When it's high school season, I don't really see my friends as much unless it's in school because I'm on the field 5 days a week, and on the weekends I'll try to see them. But most of the time it's usually spent studying or trying to catch up on certain things. During travel, I have a little bit more leniency, so it's the gym and then working out and seeing friends on the weekends, and that's pretty much it. And over the summer, it's just drills and friends.
So you said during travel. What does that mean to you?
So I play 2 different seasons. I play a travel lacrosse season, which is like with a club team, and then I play a high school season. So with the high school season, it's 5 days a week. It's with the high school, and it's a extracurricular with the school. Club is an extracurricular outside of school, which is with people from all over the state or all over the country with one of my teams. And I mean, it's just training a few days a week, if that, and just being ready to play for tournaments and competing against other people from around the country or even around the globe.
Great. Do you have any aspirations to play? You said around the globe. Is there somewhere where you'd like to go to play?
Around the globe, not really, but there are a few colleges up north that I would really want to play for when I'm older.
And without well, we're not going to get into that. I don't want to be I don't want to create trouble for you if you say, oh yeah, I really want to play for this school, and then they check you out when you're doing recruiting, and they'll be like, no, you said you would play for that school, so I don't want to pigeonhole you. So you do want to play on the college level, is that correct?
Yes, I want to play on the college level in the north.
In the north. Interesting. I guess us being in Florida, we're considered the South. So anything right above the Jacksonville line is considered the North. So we don't want, some of the schools in the Carolinas and Georgia and some of the schools in Florida to think that, he's ruled them out. So we're just plugging that. And that's where the dad is. And one of the things that I'm going to talk about here for a minute or two is how important the parent involvement is as well. We walk a very fine line as parents in the athletic world between, being that parent on the sideline who's yelling and screaming and cheering on their kid and, being proud of their kid, to the parent that, just drops the kid off and doesn't, can't or doesn't sit and stay. And one of the things that I'm finding just tremendously difficult is, he's a 15-year-old man, and, dropping him off at practice, and he's the one that's got to listen to the coach. If there's a change made, he's got to relay it to me. He's got to talk about it. He's the one, and it's giving him the opportunity to grow into his own and his own responsibility. One of the hardest things for me as a parent is not going up to the coach and saying, hey, how's Logan doing? What's going on? It's, hey, coach, how are you? Looking forward to a great game, great practice, great season. And that's it. Zip the mouth and walk away, and sit and watch from afar and watch from the stands and take videos and take highlights. It's, allowing the student to grow. And, probably 6 months from now, he's going to grow even more because, here in Florida, the age is 16 in order to drive. Right now, he still needs myself, my wife, my parents, friends, family to take him to and from. But come January or even December when he gets his driver's license, assuming he passes on the first try, which we're hoping for, he'll be driving himself. And bye, Dad, I'm off to practice. Bye, Mom, I'm off to the game. Whatever it is, and he will have that freedom. And it's hopefully everything that we've instilled with him, with his work ethic and his responsibility and everything else. He will remember all of that when he is driving to a game, when he is driving to a practice. One of the things that I can safely say is, he's so motivated these days, and he's been that, hopefully drugs and alcohol will never become a factor. He doesn't want to drink. He doesn't want to do drugs. He wants to be, the epitome of fitness. He turned to me the other day and he's like, Dad, I kind of feel out of shape and I stepped on a scale and I'm a couple of pounds more than I want to be. And he worked on it. And this morning, I'm going to not talk numbers, but he came down this morning. He's like, Dad, I'm almost to the weight where I want to be. Like, I've watched what I needed to eat and I've worked out and I've gone to the gym and I've been back running again and I've been practicing. And, I lost most of that weight and I'm only 2 pounds away, 3 pounds away from my goal. And that's self-motivated. That's not us pushing. Where he gets the push from a parent where, I would be not diligent in my duties would be, hey, an 85 is okay. Well, you got to get that 4.0 weighted or that 3.5 unweighted. So actually, a B isn't okay. A B plus or an A minus, that's okay. And one of the things that I stress to him is, look, you could achieve anything you want, but I don't want to hear you're going to go play at an Ivy League school or you're going to play at the top, schools and D1 and D2 without you putting in the work. It's not going to just be handed to you. Say, here you go, Logan, you're a good kid. You got to work for it. And if you have these lofty goals, you've got to work for it. And hopefully that's what we're instilling in him. And that's important for student athletes. You got to be a star on the field and you got to be a star in the classroom. And you can't just, take it for granted that, it's not going to happen. So we are almost at a commercial time, but one of the things I will do is I'll throw out a softball question to Logan here. Favorite lacrosse player currently?
I'd probably have to say Garrett Appel in the PLL.
Garrett Appel in the PLL. So a shout out to Garrett Appel in the PLL. Love it. Logan, when we get back from the commercial break, we're going to talk about the number that you wear and why you chose it, and the new number that you wear and why you chose that. So we're going to go for a commercial break, and we will be right back after the commercial. And thank you to all of our sponsors. And we're going to sit tight and wait. We are back. Thank you for those for our sponsors, and we're just so grateful for you guys. So Logan, he plays on two teams right now. His hometown team is a team called Stealth, and fill everybody in a little bit about what you did. I guess it was last summer with Stealth, or was it 2 summers ago? Last summer. So fill everybody in about what you did last summer with your Stealth team, and a shout out to Coach Burton, Coach Belando, and Coach Gabe. Those are the coaches that have been working with him for Stealth for forever and ever and ever. So thank you all 3 gentlemen for just being great people. Thank you also to Max Ainbinder and Evan Kalish, and there's tons others, Anthony Raynone, and other coaches, but just phenomenal people. So Logan, last summer, what did we do with this Stealth team?
So I was lucky enough to be a qualifier towards the World Series of Youth Lacrosse, which is the top 24 teams in the country for the U13 age group. But because of COVID, they made it U13 and U14 because of the year that they missed.
And what does U13 or U14 stand for those people that are not into lacrosse or youth sports?
So U13 would be about the 7th grade age group, but for me, it was my 8th grade year. So because of COVID, and they had to cancel mine and add it into the next one.
So to put that in English, for those of you that are listening and paying attention, U13 is 13 and under, and U14 is 14 and under. So you just play against people of your age brackets. Lacrosse is unique in that there's 2 different ways that you could play. You could play U13, which has to do with your age, or you could play graduation high school year. So, for example, Logan would, I guess, be U15 if that exists, or U16, excuse me, if that exists. And he's also what's called a 2025 because that's his high school graduation year. So he plays against other kids, and there's other brackets and there's other ways to do it, high school A and high school B, but that's getting all into it. So what they try to do is just, have kids play in their same age bracket, their same grade level, their same size. Logan happens to be one of the larger kids on the field, 6'2", 215, 220. And here's me, 5'10", 190 as I sit here today. I'd like to get down to 185, and I'm working on it. But 190 as I sit here today. So Logan with Stealth, what is your number?
It's 9.
And why did you get 9? Why did you pick 9? What's the story behind 9?
So I had a few options joining that team. So my birthday is December 3rd of 2006. I originally wanted 3 because of my year, and I never really wanted the number 6, but I took 6 plus 3 and it equaled 9. And I don't know, it kind of just stuck with me. I kind of always liked the number 9.
So Logan is number 9, and we have plenty of shirts and slides and hats where, it says number 9 on it. And that's Logan's number. Would have you always been able to get 9?
No. I mean, with my high school season at North Broward, I wasn't able to get 9 ever. I was number 30 last year, and I got a little bit closer. I was number 13 this year.
And at St. Andrews, he's, going to be starting as a sophomore, and, he would love to get number 9 if that's possible. If he can't, there are plenty of other numbers. Maybe one of the ones, and this is me just thinking, maybe he'll go for 4 because of long pole for life. I mean, who knows? The number with Logan, I don't think is as superstitious as his eye black, his blueberries in between the games. That's the kind of stuff. So Logan, boy, girl, doesn't matter. Youngster wants to get into the lacrosse arena. What kind of advice would you give, somebody just starting out?
Wall ball. That's probably the biggest thing. Learning how to use the stick properly and getting comfortable with at least your strong hand to start.
Okay. What is wall ball?
So wall ball is what it seems. It's kind of like racquetball, but lacrosse-ified. which is you take a stick, you take a ball, and either like a rebounder, a piece of wood that you put at a certain angle, like I have in my backyard, or a wall that has nothing behind it, like a racquetball court, or even just a wall at your house that has no windows or nothing on it that would break if you hit it.
From a liability standpoint, a wall on the house with no windows, kids. Okay, so you take this ball and what? You throw it at the house?
You throw it against the wall, house, wherever, and you throw it, you catch, you keep trying to do it. You try to get as many reps as possible. You try to get as fast and as accurate as possible without dropping.
And there are certain drills that I know Logan works at. You know, it's like 100 with his dominant hand, 100 with his non-dominant hand, and then it's, you know, sidearm and all this, and one arm and two arms and all of this. And, you know, it's good because the neighbors know when Logan's home, because, you know, every afternoon for about 20 minutes, all they hear is thump, 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 thump. And I would say he's catching about 98% of them. So it's a constant thump, 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 thump. And it's good. The neighbor, like I said, the neighbors know when he's home and he's practicing and he's throwing. So Logan, any other sport that you enjoy playing?
Not really. I kind of just stuck with lacrosse. Like sometimes I'll play like a pickup game of basketball with some friends just for the fun of it, even though I'm not very good. Tennis is something I used to play, but not anymore. I was all right at tennis. And sometimes I like to play like two-hand touch football. That's pretty much it.
Yep. And what do you like to do in your downtime when you're not studying, when you're not playing lacrosse, when you're not sleeping, even though that's a sport, but and he's pretty good at it, especially when he's not sharing a room with the big snorer right here. Did I snore a lot when we were away this weekend? Sweet. Yeah. Dad stayed up until son passed out, and then Dad passed out because he's a snorer. But what do you like to do in your downtime?
Probably just be with my friends. Like we live in South Florida, so I like going to the beach because it's fun to go to. I like to go out to eat. That's a big thing I like to do. I mean, I'm a big foodie, but I got to work out to get it all off. And
can I embarrass you and say that you like to build Legos?
Not really anymore, but
he likes the challenging Legos. He built the one that's up here. The Grogu. He's built some pretty cool ones. You know, Dad's still a kid at heart, and he likes to go out and buy Legos. And every once in a while, we'll be at the store, and he'll like look at something that's a Lego, and I'll just buy it and, you know, say go build it, and he does. He's got one that he's hopefully getting a car in the next little while, and we found the Lego set of the car, and he started building it, but he kind of stopped. So maybe now that he's on summer break, he'll start again. Maybe I should make that. You don't get your car until the Lego is built, and maybe I'll go steal some pieces and it'll never be built. I'm only kidding. Relax, relax, relax. One of the things I picked up on, you said you love food. You're a foodie. Explain what that means to you.
So ever since I was younger, I mean, I've always liked eating pretty much anything except like tomatoes. And I don't know, I like trying new things. I like doing new things, I like different experiences, food, with or without food. It doesn't really matter. I don't know. I just like doing new things.
What's your favorite food or foods?
Everything. I mean, I like sushi, probably the best, or a good burger.
Good burger. Where if best burgers you've had in a while?
So down here, I probably have to say shout out to Charm City Burger in Deerfield Beach. That's probably the best burger I've ever had. And there's really not much that compares to it.
And what about, you know, we were just in Baltimore. We're going to Orlando. A couple burger stops that you like. That's one of the names, Burger Stop. A place that we've liked. Any other burger places that you enjoy eating?
There was nothing really in Baltimore, and Cowfish was pretty good in Orlando.
Cowfish in Orlando. What about BurgerFi, Five Guys?
Those are also pretty good, but they don't really stand they're not as good as like a hole in the wall.
Shake Shack?
Shake Shack is better than the other two.
Okay, so we're getting that. Sushi. Where do you like sushi from?
Probably Benihana I like the best, but I haven't really been to a sushi place in a while.
Yeah, this guy, when he was a kid, we would go to Benihana. We were on a first name basis with the chefs. He'd be high-fiving them. We'd go in. We'd ask for a specific chef or two. And the beautiful part about Logan is he'll either finish his plate or he'll take it home. And by the time I wake up the next morning, it's gone. So one of the things that I also want to talk about a little bit is safety, taking care of your body and all of that. And I'm not going to talk about diets or anything, but what about hydration? So we went to Baltimore, and he went through 1 or 2 sport bottles of water each session, and he went to practice last night, and he was just drenched. So how important is it for you to stay hydrated?
Hydration is very important, at least to me. I've made a couple mistakes. Like the other weekend, we had a local tournament just for the fun of it, and I had a Celsius and nothing else to eat for breakfast, and I went to the game, and I was very dehydrated, and I probably puked twice in 3 games.
And the next day, he loaded up on Gatorade and Smart Water and just water itself, and he was up and running. And one of the not to get overly personal with Logan, but one of the problems that he has is an allergy to coconut and coconut water. And most of the drinks out there, like Body Armors and all that, they're great, but he can't drink them. He'd have to sacrifice the hydration for stomach problems. So we're constantly on the lookout for something that can help hydrate. Pedialyte is great. So it's funny when Logan was younger and we tried giving him Pedialyte. No, I'm not drinking that. That's for, babies, and that's for, toddlers and kids. And now you hand him Pedialyte and all the boys on the sidelines are drinking it. It's just great. You got to stay hydrated. You got to stay fit. I push bananas on him after practice to avoid the cramps. Pickle juice. What are some of the other things? Watermelon juice, watermelon as a whole, blueberries in between matches, of course. So one of the other things you mentioned, your club team Stealth. Tell me something unique about that team. Maybe a home local team that's stuck together. I think part of him growing as a lacrosse player and a human being is that relationship that you have with those boys. I mean, he's constantly, those are my boys. Explain what that means to you.
So I've been with this team for about 4 or 5 years now.
Maybe 6.
I mean, these are the guys I grew up playing lacrosse with. These are the guys that I will probably see. Some of them I will probably see in college or at least through the end of high school playing lacrosse with. I mean, this is a team that's been there for me all the time. I play with. I don't think I've really been to a tournament without them. They're the guys I travel with. They're the guys I go to dinner with. They're the guys I see 4 or 5 times a week outside of school. These are the guys I built close connections with. And these are also the guys, even though I have a second team nationals, I mean, 6 or 7 of us stuck together and went to nationals together. And we went up there and we dominated the competition.
It is so much fun to watch. The games are fun as a parent, don't get me wrong, but it's so awesome to watch that after the games, all the parents know we're all trained. We take all our chairs, we create a big circle, and I would say 85-90% of the team just gets in there and they're throwing blueberries at each other and they're playing games and they're all on their phones, but they're all connected and they're having a great time. And that camaraderie and that what you learn post game, in between games, traveling games, winning games, losing games, you can't, you can't show more. And there's a gentleman who I know, his name is Scott McGregor. Phenomenal man. And I remember talking with him and he's like, I look for lacrosse players. Those are the types of people that I like to hire. They know competition. They're smart people. They go ahead and they work. And that's all I want for my son. I just want the opportunity for him. And thankfully he's picked up on some of the stuff that my wife and I have taught, this foundation, long pole for life, giving back to kids that, maybe don't have the resources to play or the resources to do or the knowledge, or maybe they don't know. Look, You got lacrosse questions? Go to longpoleforlife.com. Go to longpolelife.com. Reach out to Logan. He's responding. He's doing things. He's helping out. Follow him on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
Logan Weiss 09. Reach out to me there with any questions.
Logan Weiss 09. Are there any other social media things that you're part of?
You can follow my company, Long Pole Life. Did the Instagram account get me for Long Pole for Life? Yeah. So you can also follow Long Pole for Life if you want.
Oh, yeah, that one we haven't done yet. That's something that you are going to be working on now that you're on spring break. Summer break. Officially, today is his first day. That's something that he's going to work on. And, it's part of his checklist, part of his responsibilities. This is what he wants. He's got to do it. I have one rule in the house for the kids when it comes to sports. My son and my daughter must participate in some sort of physical activity. What it is, it's up to them. They can swim, they can run, they can bike, they can go to the gym, they can play tennis. My daughter is an avid dancer. Logan is on the lacrosse field. That's it. If Logan decided tomorrow that, hey, I don't want to play lacrosse anymore, my response would be, okay, I understand, but what are you going to do? Dad, I'm going to start swimming every day. Dad, I'm going to run. Dad, fine, no problem. Just get physical, get active. It's good for your brain. It's good for your body. It's good for everything. So, Logan, we got a couple of minutes left. I ask various different guests and various different things, questions. So I kind of threw a hard question at you asking for your favorite lacrosse player. So I'll give you a couple of easy ones. Favorite movie and why?
Probably Star Wars. Just in general, that's what I grew up watching. That's what I still watch. The Kenobi series. That's the stuff I grew up on.
The Kenobi series. So we're 3 episodes into it? What do you think?
Very different than everything else, but in a good way.
Yeah, I personally liked the Mandalorian. That was one of the ones I enjoyed. And you can see all the Star Wars stuff in the background. What other things? So you got a whole summer ahead of you. It's going to be lacrosse training, all of that. Anything you're going to do to keep your mind in focus and to maybe earn a couple of dollars other than, promote your store and promote the charity?
So I do have summer reading and summer math stuff. So I'll be reading probably every day and doing some math here and there just to make sure I still know what I'm doing with that kind of stuff. But on the side, I'm getting wheels of a Jeep that I'm going to be selling either on eBay, OfferUp, or something just to make some quick cash because I'm getting a Jeep and swapping the tires. And then with that, I'm also going to sell probably some old cleats or something, or even donate them and just try to do something. And I'm going to try to stay busy with my company and trying to work on it and maybe even plan out for during the fall season, trying to get a brick and mortar booth at one of the tournaments. So at one of the local tournaments, because just a way to get my name out there in the local community, or even when I go up to Maryland or Philadelphia or any of these bigger tournaments and showcases, to have something up there to get my name out there, whether it's with the coaches or just in general.
So check out longpolelife.com. Check out longpole4life.com. That's the charity. That'll bring you to the collection that we put up there, that the proceeds will go towards the helmets and the chest protectors. Feel free to reach out to Logan on Instagram at, one more time,
Logan Weiss 09.
And you could check out Long Pole for Life. Hey, I'm still got my coffee thing. I've had a couple of people reach out to me. They've wanted some fresh roasted coffee. I've sent out the beans. All you got to do is email me at jason@jswlawyer.com and give me an address where to ship it. And if you want whole or ground, and that's about it. So Logan, we're almost at the end. Top song that you're listening to right now to get you pumped for the game?
Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill.
Never even heard of it. Probably not going to check it out. But hey, that's what Logan's listening to, and everything else. So we're off to Orlando this weekend. We're playing in a tournament. When we'll be off to Kennesaw, Georgia the following weekend. We're at another tournament. And then this guy and family and everybody else, we're traveling all over the U.S. If you've got a passion for lacrosse, reach out to Logan. If you have questions about lacrosse, reach out to Logan. If you need anything, reach out to me. I want to give a major shout to Cece, who's in the back running this. She is awesome. Couldn't do it without her. This is all her. You could always reach out to me at jason@jswlawyer.com. You could check out my website, askjasonweiss.com. And I'm available if you ever want to reach out to me by phone at 954-573-2800. That is an old-fashioned landline, so there are no texts, but call, and you'll get connected to myself or my paralegal, and we'll be happy to answer questions for you. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful start to the month of June and the summer. Stay dry, stay hydrated, stay happy, and thank you all. Logan, any parting words?
Just thank you for being here and listening to us.
Thank you for taking time away and being with old man Dad, who's very proud. And also a shout out to my princess, my little daughter, Madison, because, you are also awesome, and can't wait to get you on the show in the next couple of weeks where, we could talk about dancing and her apparel line. So check out Long Pole for Life. Check out longpolelife.com. Cece, thank you so much. And if you got questions, reach out to Logan. He's a very approachable young man. Thank you, everyone, and support longpoleforlife.com.